And we're going to go right into Andre PED Berto versus Robert. I really suck at 147 Guerrero. Uh, Despite my little intro there, I really not kind of I really like this fight. I'm looking forward to seeing the fight. I really don't care what happened with Berto. I really don't care. I just don't care. Maybe that's a dirty little secret, but I just don't care if they're caught using PEDs. I just don't care. I know a lot of you do care. I don't care. I just don't care. Anyway, man, Andre Berto should get beat. If Guerrero looked any kind of worth of shit at 147, I'm not convinced that Guerrero's going to get it done at 147. I don't think it's a good weight class for him. I don't think it was a good idea for him to jump up. I mean, there's not even a whole lot of names for him to fight at 147 unless Guerrero is on the hunt for a Pacquiao or Floyd fight, and that seems really fucking stupid. I mean, he jumped up from what, 135 to 147, and he looked kind of like shit in his last fight. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He didn't. He looked quite awful. So, I don't know. Unfortunately, Berto's boxing skills are piss poor at best. I'm really not a fan of Berto. I think he's pretty awful. He's pretty awful. The only thing he does is for the first 5 rounds, he tries to knock you out with fast hands. But if you can survive that and put a couple rounds in the bank during the first 5, you're pretty much going to win the fight because he's gassed after that. He doesn't do anything after the first 5 or 6 rounds. I mean, you only have to fight half a fight with Andre Berto, and then the rest of it you can pretty much outbox him. Now, Guerrero, round 5 and 6 on to 12, I assume will outbox Berto because Guerrero has the better boxing abilities. What I'm wondering is if Guerrero can really, I mean, he doesn't have any pop. Everybody's been saying his power is not carrying to 147. Maybe it was just one fight and he'll knock Berto out, but I think everybody is pretty much right on this one that Guerrero holds no power at 147. And my lighter's broken. Hold on. And if he holds no power at 147, how the fuck is he supposed to keep Berto off of him for the first 6 rounds? How is that going to happen? He's just going to move and outbox him? I don't think he's any faster as far as foot speed than Berto, especially when Berto's full of piss and vinegar and energy. You know, he's a front runner. He's a Zab Judah, a Jean Pascal. The first quarter of the fight is going to be real rough trying to keep up with Berto if you don't have speed to match or power to keep him at bay. And Guerrero just doesn't have the power to keep him at bay. He's got the boxing skill, and we always talk about skills paying bills, but you have to have, even Floyd Mayweather has pop. You know, he's a boxer, you know, but he has pop. He has power in his punch to keep people at bay. Guerrero does not have that. He's going to be forced to take hits from Berto, in my opinion, during the first half of the fight. And this whole fight is going to depend on how well he takes those hits and how well he recovers from those hits. I think Berto's fast hands in the first 4 rounds specifically are going to be a huge problem for Guerrero. Because I don't see Guerrero being able to keep up. I don't see him being able to escape it enough, and I don't see him being able to outmaneuver Berto. So if the fight lasts, yeah, I got Guerrero by UD, but I don't think it's going to last. I actually think Berto is probably going to get a couple knockdowns in the first few rounds of the fight, maybe the first half, 1 through 6. He's going to have a couple knockdowns in there on Guerrero, and I think at the end of the fight, nobody's going to get knocked out, and Berto's going to end up winning by way of unanimous decision because of the points accumulated from getting 2 knockdowns. I know that's pretty specific, but I just I'm going to be rooting for Guerrero because I don't like Berto, but that's just how I see the fight playing out. I know people. There's been some that have Guerrero's going to win this pretty easily. Some that think this is a toss-up fight. My opinion, I more agree with the people who think this is kind of a 50-50 toss-up fight. I don't think Guerrero's going to blast Berto out of the water. I don't think he's going to cruise to some wide unanimous decision scorecards. I think we're going to see close scorecards, and I think Berto's going to win because of a couple extra points from knockdowns. He may even knock Guerrero out in less than half the fight. So that's my prediction, is officially unanimous decision for Berto, but I wouldn't be surprised if Berto knocked Guerrero out. All right, guys, that's it. I think that's it for the fights tonight. I'm not really going to do any predictions on the undercards. I will say, though, that Lee Purdy versus Carson Jones. I don't know much about Lee Purdy, but I do know Carson Jones was the guy that gave Kell Brook a real run for his money, right? So I don't know I think that fight's tonight. Yeah, I could be wrong. Could be next weekend. I'm really just not fucking sure, and I'm not even sure who's fighting on the undercards. So I'm just doing headline predictions today, guys. Deuces.